So the purpose of study, as we all know, the total knee replacement is one of the most successful operations in the modern day orthopedics. But still, as we surgeons, we don't acknowledge, but it's a worldwide fact that various studies have showed a sizable number of patients, that is 20% of patients remain dissatisfied after a well-executed TKA. The forgotten knee is the terminology which is used to describe a post-TKA patient who is completely unaware of his knee implant, usually at 1 year down the line. Much research is being done worldwide to identify the causes of these dissatisfied patients who otherwise have a well-executed TKA operation. So the aim of our study was to examine the excised synovium from the suprapatellar region in the osteoarthritic knees during the TKA and evaluate the histopathological report to know whether the discrepant diagnosis affect the forgotten joint score 12 at various time intervals. Then materials and methods first come to a definition. What is concordant diagnosis? Concordant diagnosis is histopathological report matches the clinical diagnosis. Discordant diagnosis where it doesn't match, that is rheumatoid arthritis and PVNS, which is pigmented villonodular synovitis. And discrepant diagnosis is where it doesn't match and actually is expected to alter the patient management. If you don't treat the rheumatoid patient and if you miss the rheumatoid pathology, the patient is going to be unhappy. So that is a discrepant diagnosis. So materials and methods, it's a prospective study of 200 patients operated in our center from October 14 to September 16. Were studied by after obtaining local ethics committee approval and patient consents. Inclusion criteria was end-stage osteoarthritis, bone-on-bone grade 4 arthritis. Exclusion criteria was patients who had clinically as well as serologically tested positive for rheumatoid arthritis before the operation. The synovium excised during the TKA was sent for histopathological examination. Materials and methods regarding the power of study, the sample size was estimated to be 193 with alpha error of 0.05, beta error of 0.05 with a power of study of 95%. Considering the dropouts, we rounded the figure to about 200. The statistical significance was measured with chi-square test and 2 sample t-test or student t-test. The study was started with null hypothesis that we will not have any discordant diagnosis, and the p-value less than 0.05 was considered to be statistically significant. So this is the demography of our population. As you know, the females far outnumber the osteoarthritic patients. About 80% females, 20% males, mean age 67 in females and 71 in males. So what were the results? The results, 184 out of our 200 patients, that is 92% patients, they showed the histopathological features of osteoarthritis, fine. So the clinical diagnosis sort of confirmed by histopathological diagnosis. But to our surprise, the discordant diagnosis, that is, and the discrepant diagnosis rate was 8 and 7%, which is about 16 and 14 in number, which is statistically significant. The p-value is less than 0.001 and the p-value is equal to 0.001. So 14 of these patients, 12 female and 2 males, showed histopathological features of rheumatoid arthritis, whereas 2 patients, all females, they showed histopathological feature of pigmented villonodular synovitis. Again, the FGS-12 score at 6 weeks in concordant group was 25.3 plus or minus 17.6, as against in the discrepant group, which was 15.3 plus or minus 12.5. P-value is again significant because it is less than 0.05. So this is a classical slide of osteoarthritis, where there is a bony fragment surrounded by inflammation and villous hyperplasia of the synovium. Classical slide of rheumatoid arthritis, which shows lymphoid aggregates beneath a hyperplastic synovial lining. This is a sort of a sample form or a histopathological report. You can see the clinical diagnosis is osteoarthritis. The pathology is reporting as a rheumatoid arthritis. Again, same clinical diagnosis, right knee OA, histopathologist reporting as features of rheumatoid arthritis. Pigmented villonodular synovitis, basically section showing hyperplastic synovium and pigment-laden macrophages. And this is the representative histopathology report where we started with the clinical diagnosis of OA, but actually it turned out to be PVNS, on table as well as histopathologically. So again, comparison of clinical and histopathological diagnosis, almost 146 females has OA, 12 females had rheumatoid, 2 females had PVNS. Out of 40, 38 males had OA, 12 males had rheumatoid and 0 with PVNS. So again, this is the same slide. When we compare it to the p-values and whether our results are statistically significant, in female, discordant diagnosis rate is 8.75%, discrepant diagnosis rate is 7.5%, males it is 5% discordant and discrepant, which is not statistically significant, whereas in females it is statistically significant if you see the p-values. What is the combined discordant diagnosis rate? It is 8%, which is statistically significant, as well as the combined discrepant diagnosis rate is also significant, which is 7%, p-value being 0.001%. So again, when we come to forgotten joint score at various time intervals, preoperatively, as you can see in the patients with ONE, that is concordant diagnosis, whereas as compared to the rheumatoid patients, where the diagnosis was missed preoperatively, the preoperative FJS score is same because the p-value is 0.9493%. But look at the rate at 6 weeks. Because these patients had started being treated by rheumatologist at about 4 weeks after the operative wound has healed and we have referred the patient to the rheumatologist. So at 6 weeks, if you have missed the diagnosis preoperatively and it's a late diagnosis on histopathological examination, the FJS score differs between the concordant diagnosis group and discrepant diagnosis group. The p-value is 0.0385, which is statistically significant. Since these patients were treated at about 4 weeks and continued to be treated and monitored by rheumatologist, at 1 year, the FJS joint score, there is no statistical difference between the concordant group and the discrepant group because the p-value is 0.9144% and the score is about 49.1 as against 48.2. So our conclusion, 8% of our patients exhibited unexpected results. The study showed a 7% rate of discrepant diagnosis, which is rheumatoid arthritis. This discrepant diagnosis, if missed and untreated, would have affected the function and long-term survival of the implanted TKA. A patient with rheumatoid arthritis would never have been treated for the same if the excised synovium during the TKA was not sent for histopathology examination. Now, I am aware that there are papers from Western literature, but they are almost about a decade ago, which say that the cost effectiveness of sending this histopathological examination is not that much. But I would have a counter argument. The cost of having almost 7% or if at least 4 to 5% of these dissatisfied patients, it far outweighs the cost of histological examination incurred by our patients. So what is the take-home message and has this study altered our practice? Yes. We don't advocate as a blanket sending of all the histopathology specimens during the operation, but during the operation, if a surgeon sees the synovium to be abnormal, if it is unusually red, angry, or it is not looking the normal synovium of osteoarthritis, then he or she should have a very low index of high index of suspicion and a low threshold to send that synovium for histopathology because it costs hardly 2,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees in our setting. And if you miss that particular patient's diagnosis, then whatever well-executed TKA you do, the patient is not going to achieve a forgotten joint status and he or she will not be a good, happy patient. So basically, we are advocating when you have a high index of suspicion, please send a synovium during the operation. And I think one of the limitation is it's only a one-center study. So what we would advocate is a large multicentral trial for this particular unknown sort of subject to validate our results and probably have some sort of guideline during the TKA operation. These are the certain references. As one can see, there are references from Michael Dunbar from reference number 8 from Canada, Philip Noble from Texas. They advocate against sending the synovium, whereas reference number 28, who is a DiCarlo, who is a histopathologist from Hospital for Special Surgery, New York, they do advocate sending the synovium of all the patients. I thank you for all your attention.